Now we are going to start with the locomotion that we see in vertebrates. First thing you should know that which organisms are classified into vertebrates, or which organisms have been given a special name, that is the vertebrates. So animals, all animals or all organisms that have a vertebral column, they fall under this category, that is the vertebrates. So we are going to study the movements that is shown in the vertebrates. So we are taking into consideration fish first. So what we see, you know that fish, like where the fish reside, obviously the fish is an aquatic animal, so it is found in water. And you know that like there is always an adaptation wherever the organism survive, whether it lives on the land, whether it is a terrestrial or an aquatic or aerial or arboreal animal. So like that, the fish has an adaptation so that it can adapt well in a water. That means it can actually move, or you can say that it should survive well in water. That is that it has a streamlined body. What is streamlined? You know that it is like this, that is narrow from end and wider from middle. So it has an adaptation that it has a streamlined body. That is why it can actually move, you can say, smoothly in water. Now if we talk about the movements, again it has an internal skeleton which is attached to the strong muscles. So there are strong muscles forming an internal skeleton so that it can actually move, show us, you can say, a strong kind of movement in water. So we know that they have fins for the movement. They have fins for the movement, and for what purpose the fins are meant? They help to swim and they help to balance the body. The fins actually help to swim and they help in the balancing of the body. So when it swims, how the fish swims? It swims by curving its body. As you can see that it can actually curve its body and the tail muscles. And if we talk about the fins, so there are particularly fins have been classified into two categories, though they have different kind of fins, but the basic category is of two types, that is the paired and unpaired, and they are meant for the special kind of movements. Paired fins, like we know pelvic and pectoral, they are paired fins, and dorsal, caudal and anal, they are unpaired fins. Paired fins are actually meant to move, they help the fish to move up and downward, and they also help, or you can say that they work as a brake, like you can say vehicle have a brake, they have these paired fins, so they also help the fish to stop even, and they also help in maintaining the position when it is at rest. So that means paired fins are helping in the upward and the downward movement. They are acting as a brake. They help the fish to stop also, and they help in maintaining the posture then when the fish is at rest. And if we talk about the function of the unpaired one, that is the dorsal, caudal and anal, they help in the forward and the backward movement. See, it is helping in the upward and the downward, it is helping in the forward and the backward movement, the unpaired fins. And you also know that there is an adaptation that they have a swim bladder, which is you can say which is filled with an air when it wants to make its body light, and it just empties the swim bladder when it wants to make its body you can say heavy. So this is what is an adaptation or the locomotion we see in the case of fish. Now coming to another vertebrate, we have birds. You know that birds are basically, the birds are not only that that can fly. We have some birds which can fly, we have some birds which can only walk, means fly also and can walk also. So we have some birds which can swim also, they can fly as well as swim, like duck and swan. We have few birds which cannot fly but they are very good runners, like we know ostrich and kiwi. They cannot fly but still they are good runners. So now if we talk about the birds, like we know that a special kind of thing we see that they can actually fly, right? So we see that what is an adaptation here? They have hollow and slight weight bones, because this is an adaptation which makes their body light so that they can actually you can say overcome the friction which which is offered by the air. So that means they have hollow muscles and they have lightweight body. Second thing, again they have streamlined body. Like the fishes have streamlined body, even they have, that is the narrow from ends and wider from the middle, so that can in order to, you can say, reduce the friction due to air. And we see that what kind of movements they show. They show like if we talk about the flight movements, so they are basically of two types, flapping and gliding. Flapping movements are those which are helping the, you can say, the movements which are helping in the forward movement, and they also help in the balancing of the body. They are helping in the forward movement and they are also helping in the balancing. How? So there are basically two kinds of activities involved in this. One is a downstroke, another is a upstroke. Downstroke is that in which you can say that we have a wings, the wings are going to push the air backward, and as the air is pushed backward by the winds, the birds are propelled forward and upward. So this is what is a downstroke. In upstroke, what they do, they slightly rotate their wings so that they let the air pass slightly through their wings. So both downstroke and upstroke is helping in the flapping. They actually form a flapping. That means they are helping in the forward movement and the balancing of the body. Second is the gliding. We know that we have certain birds like you can say vultures and all. They can actually spread their wings and they just flap their wings very occasionally. They can just spread their wings and that activity helps them to fly. You can say to a height, or it helps them to glide. Right. So this is what is a gliding movement. So that means particularly two kind of flight movements are there. One is the flapping, which is helping them to move forward and balancing, that is the downstroke and the upstroke. And the another is the gliding, in which the bird actually spread their wings. They actually flap them very occasionally and it helps them to glide in the air. So this is what is the movement which we see in the birds.